Hello and welcome back to Los Comex TV. I'm your host, Javier Hernandez, and today is Sunday, March 28th, 2020. So this is it's been a week now since I put up the first video. And when I put up that first video, I hadn't actually officially said it's Los Comex TV. I just put up I want to film a video, put it up there. And then I thought, okay, well, you know what? If I'm going to end up doing my own channel, let that be the first episode and let's go from there. So, it's been a week. I think I put videos up how many times? I think I missed 2 days. So we don't have exactly 7 videos. We got, I think it's 5 or 6. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to record it every day for year in, year out. I'm doing it right now because with the whole situation we're all experiencing together, the whole stay-at-home order for the pandemic, I just felt like it's a nice way to connect. I like putting stuff out there. I like, connecting to people and, providing a little bit of content out there. I mean, there's obviously hundreds of hours of choices everybody has. But anyway, I'll talk about more later in another episode, just going a little deeper why I'm doing it and what I'm hoping to get out of it and, other things that spurred me on to do it. But anyway, for now, let's start today's episode. I guess we'll call this Sunday Funnies for lack of a better word. But so, yes, right here, don't worry. You did not turn into the wrong podcast. This is not Tina Trujillo's Toy Time or anything. That's another channel. But anyway, these props will come into the conversation as we move forward. Who can name all 3 of these? Well, this is generic toy, right? So there's no right or wrong answer. But anybody got those? Okay, I sense several people out there immediately knew who they were. So we'll get back to these characters momentarily. What I'm going to do today, let me explain. I'm going to do a comic book reading. Very rare I do that. I think it's rare most people do a comic book reading. I know people have done them for sure. It's not as common as like a novel or something or poetry. But so I'm going to do that. But it's going to be a thinly veiled infomercial, right? So I'm doing a little commercial for a thing I have, which some of you already bought. Some of you already have this. This is a new book. You have this and some other stuff that I'll show momentarily. But what I want to do right now is do a reading of this comic. Anyway, it's Los Comex Double Dip. And it's Cochito and Duck a Hero. Cochito was published last year in his own comic. Debuted last year, 2019, in this comic here, Year of the Pig. Excuse me. Basically, Cochito was inspired by, well, more than inspired, I mean, definitely, inspired by Spider-Ham. So in December of 2018, I had, like everybody else, I'd seen the Into the Spider-Verse animated film. I loved it, a great film. I was astounded by the animation, the quality of the animation and just the way they used it in different storytelling techniques. But anyway, so coming home from that, pulled out my sketchbook and I just started thinking, well, Spider-Ham is basically just the Spider-Man costume wrapped around like a humanoid pig. I remember the comic from the 80s. None of us ever thought there'd be a big giant film with that character, but there you go. So I ended up playing with that idea. Like, okay, just as a gag, I just sketch out some of the, the character designs, but I'll show you later. But I ended up liking the idea so much, like a story popped into my head. Okay, I can actually make a little story out of this. So that's what this was. And it turned out that as I worked on it in December 2018 into 2019, 2019 was in China. It's right the Year of the Pig. So it's like, wow, the marketing just fell right into my lap. So I thought it was even more perfect, even more reason to finish this Cochito comic. So I ended up putting this comic out because it was Year of the Pig. I'm always thinking of promos and marketing. Chinese New Year always has these I think they're called good luck envelopes. So it was branded right last year with the pig. So I bought a whole pack of these. So I sold the comic in a little Mylar bag. And then you got this cool little envelope. And I think they put either money in it, gold coins, maybe even fortunes. But for my purpose, I go, well, let me put in some swag. A Cochito sticker, a vinyl sticker, and a button. I make stickers a lot, like all the time for my characters and products. And I do make buttons, you know, over the years. I don't make as many buttons as stickers, so I wanted to do something nice and rare. And I'm definitely not going to repeat, you know, make these again. I figured it's always nice to make an exclusive. And then, you know, like when I say if it's exclusive for this book, whatever, I want to keep it that way. So these are all out of production. I probably have a few lying around. Every time I open a desk drawer, like I see one or two old buttons. Oh, I do got more. But anyway. Oh, and also, so this was the piggy pack. And then you got, yes, a little squeaky pig. So these were fun. People really love these. When I debuted the comic, actually I had a little box, so all the little pigs were in there, and I'd give people the pack of comic and buttons, and then I go, well, just grab a little pig out of the barrel. So that was fun to do. I was like doing that. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to do a reading of this comic, at least the Cochito story. Right? Let me get that set up in the camera range. So, you know, the camera's stationary. So, yeah, I don't want to be trying to zoom it in and out and all that. I'm going to read it, so you don't have to worry about that. You can't read the actual words in the captions. But I'll try to point out what panel I'm on, just so, you know, give you a good experience here. So let's start here with Cochito, el Marranito de la Muerte. A beautiful day on the Saldana farm. For the family pig Eusebio, that day would change him forever. A stray radioactive zombie shuffled upon the serene property, and with one chomp of his foul maw, the course of history was altered. Immediately, strange genetic forces began rattling the helpless, cute little pig. Science happened, people. Science. He metamorphosed. Eusebio not only mutated into a two-legged humanoid, but he gained instant self-awareness. Ecstatic at the possibilities, he learned to master his new physiology. Hoo, hi, hoof. This new enlightenment then led him to that long-lost human trait. Responsibility. Inspired by a modestly budgeted film he once saw back on the farm, Eusebio created for himself a new identity. An alter ego that would be both a defender and an avenger. He would become, in the parlance of our times, a heroic super character. Shoot, they sent me the wrong suit size. There's no way I gained 10 pounds in a week. His new zombie powers would be in service to the greater good. Moving down south to East LA, Eusebio effortlessly blended into his new community. Its self-absorbed citizenry provided the perfect environment from which he would launch his new dual life. The Saldana family assumed he had just wandered off the farm, and in truth he did, but on his two new legs and with a new purpose to his life. A purpose fraught with a plethora of unique challenges. Any of you losers gonna try and stop Gallo Guerrero? Put that money back, Gallo. And you're paying for some new doors. Ha! So you're the short, fat butterball. Oof! With the big mouth. Hey, little bro, let me live stream this, K? Laugh my blah, 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 blah. You're about ready for the chorizo factory, Pinky. You're too cocky, Gallo. Triple bacon jump. Brock! Dual karate pork chop. I'm sorry. I give up, please. This guy. See, kids, most bullies are just chickens. Hey, Piggy, wait up. I'm at the Comadres y Comics podcast. Our listeners want to know, who are you? A friend. Just tell them I'm a friend. And so our friend takes his daily afternoon power naps, in between catching up on his favorite streaming telenovelas. But of course, his first priority is always us. He readily defends us against an ever-growing army of villains, scoundrels like El Carnicero and the howling menace of the bad big wolf. Sure, he's a reanimated pig corpse. His vet has warned him about his high blood sugar levels, and he probably could lose a few pounds. But he's brave, caring, and self-sacrificing. He's out there to serve us, inspire us, and save us. And so let's look inward and ask ourselves this, dear readers. If not he, then whom? If not now, then when? And that is the Cochito story. So, included in the double dip. I know, right? Double dip. Sounds like the publisher's trying to double dip with this book. But, oops, sorry, couldn't knock this off the side here. So I have the original thumbnail pages, right? For each page I drew. So when I make up a story, I don't write a script, actually. I just start, I've thought about it in my head for months or weeks sometimes, kind of visually how I want the pages to flow. So I start drawing the pages. So all the 5 pages are in here. Sometimes I'll write some of the dialogue. It'll change. But I mean, look, you can compare this to the final version. So it's basically the same, right? Just some of the poses change, maybe, I zoom in for dramatic effect, whatever. And of course, the color always adds to it. And then there's the other comic in back here. I got a pinup section, some guest artists, friends of mine, Mark, Candy, and Joe. So those are in there. And a Duck, a Hero, my other story, which I'm not going to read at the moment, but maybe we'll do another reading one day. So that's what this is about. Cochito, out of print, now available, and I'll talk more about that. Let me give you a little bit of background, or at least some behind the scenes on the Cochito character designs, right? I remember I was telling you I've been doing those for a while. Here we go. So the camera's a little closer, so you're not going to see the whole page at once. But like I said, I came home from watching Into the Spider-Verse, and either that night or that weekend, I just started, okay, let's see what a pig Alberto looks like. Basically, right? The suit's on him, and he's got the skull face makeup, and then the shirt too doesn't fit. We've all been there. We've all been there. Diego de la Manteca was his original name. I ended up in the comic calling him Eusebio. They don't want to make it like, I guess, an exact 100% parallel to El Muerto other than the costume. El Puerco Muerto was the original name for him. But the more I thought about it, it's just, I go, well, I kind of want this character to be kind of, a little on the cutesy side. So I thought just calling him like the dead pig is just, I don't know. I thought it kind of stopped it in its track. So started thinking, I ended up using the name Cochito, which is a word we used to use in my family, at least, for pig. And actually the Mexican bread shaped like a pig, tastes kind of like gingerbread. We always called it Cochito. Some more drawings of him. So again, early character sketches, trying to figure out the character, play with the design and, the feel and the mood of the character. So this was obviously going to be a funny animal story. So kept it, kept it kind of fun and silly and Looney Tune. Kind of, I guess, what you call cute. It's kind of cute character. We'll show him in a second. That's the other project. Anyway, like I said, here's a trio. What else can I show you? Oh, I know I have some character sketches of, so the villain, right? Gallo Gallardo. I hope I got his name right. Was it Gallo Gallardo or Gallo Guerrero? Anyway, I did the first sketch of him, and I think I kept it. I don't think I changed his final look at all. Because again, I wanted, let's see, let's just check. Yeah, it looks like the same character costume and everything. Yeah, I think it's the exact same. Sometimes you just want to do a simple design, and you know, they're not hard to come up with. So, and then the skull logo, and you know, let me sketch. Never finished this drawing. It was going to be El Muerto and Cochito. But yeah, like I said, one day I'll do a series of videos where I just look through my old sketchbooks and just share ideas and show you what some character designs of other stories I'm working on. So there we go. Oh, so the other character. Okay, so we're done with that one. So what the infomercial is for? The infomercial sounds so serious. It's an infomercial. So what I'm selling here, and I had these made for, you know, comic conventions, which I think one already passed. You know, obviously everything is getting canceled or postponed, I guess, because of the, like I said, everything we're going through. Understandable. So there's one show that already passed, and I think I had two other things coming up. So anyway, I had done these new comics for those shows, but definitely want to see if I can still sell them. And then eventually, you know, things are going to get back to the way they were before. You know, we can go out and about and do our thing, and maybe just be cautious now, extra cautious of, you know, cleanliness and all that stuff. But anyway, I have, so the Double Dip is brand new, and I have this mini comic, San Patricio, which I know I've shown it over some of the other episodes I've done. It's another character I'm going to talk about in a second. But this is the, what I call it, the mini comic survival pack. So it comes in these envelopes, which look, it's got an adhesive seal. So there's no licking of the thing and, you know, passing on germs or viruses or, you know, whatever's out there. So, and then you get the two comics, and then you get, I also made these special San Patricio stickers, but they're holograms. I'm sure there's like the lights reflecting on it. So I'm gonna give you two because, you know, I'm kind of a collector myself, and sometimes when I get a sticker, it's like, well, I don't want to use it because then I want to keep one. I got to keep it. I'm a collector. But so put one on your cell phone, whatever, and then the other one, throw it in your sticker box. Right? So so the other character, San Patricio, is a character I've been working on for years and years and years. Now, his lineage, or whatever, his inspiration comes from another comic book trope, the imp. So I think a lot of you are familiar with Batmite, either from the comics. He's been in the comics since I think the 50s. It's been showing up in the different Batman cartoons since the 70s. So yeah, it's Batmite. He's an interdimensional imp. He's not a bad guy. He's I guess an annoyance. It's kind of like a little stray puppy follows you home. He wants to hang out with Batman and be Batman's sidekick and, you know, be a junior Batman, hence the little costume. So there's been other imps in comics. Superman has a villain, Mr. Mxyzptlk. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm sure there's 10 different ways to pronounce it. Just don't say his name backwards, or I think he disappears back to the fifth dimension. But so he's also a diminutive little character. He doesn't look like Superman though. But and then there's I think Aquaman had a character called Quist. But anyway, I think Batmite's like the prototype, obviously, where it's this little mini version of the hero. And not that the hero was asking for it, right? He wasn't asking for a sidekick. He already has one, right? He has Robin, Batman does. But so anyway, I'd always wanted to do an imp character for the El Muerto character. And here's a sketch from, what's this from? 2016, St. Patrick's Day. I was trying to find my other drawings of him. I mean, I got a lot of sketchbooks, so I don't know how other artists organize their, you know, how do you know, we all have these tons of sketchbooks. I was curious, how does an artist know which sketchbook has that one particular drawing or whatever? I mean, right? I guess you can make a Google document or write the contents on the side of it. I don't know, whatever. So I found this one. So I had him for years and years trying to just figure out his design. And he used to look more like an actual leprechaun, where he had instead of the kilt, the short pants and then the really high stockings, so you don't see any bare leg. And he had a top hat, a green top hat with the black band and the gold buckle. But I had that sketch for years, and I never liked it. I'd redo it, but it's like, no, it's too leprechaun. I don't want to make him like he's literally a leprechaun. He's an imp, but obviously very, with the whole Irish thing, very leprechaunish. But anyway, one day I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking of Roddy Piper, one of my favorite wrestlers, the late Roddy Piper, now unfortunately. I go, give him a kilt, right? Kilts and bagpipes, they're also used in Ireland as much as they are in Scotland, or I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know if it's as much, but anyway, once I gave him the kilt, like he always had the his own version of the El Muerto jacket, but in green. Once I gave the character the kilt, like it really fell into place for me. The kilt, and then the black boots, and then the bagpipes. I mean, it's very Roddy Piper influenced, I gotta say that, which is fine with me. I'll have to do a couple of episodes on Roddy Piper. That guy was a huge influence on me as well. But, here's another drawing of San Patricio, which, the name comes from the Irish soldiers who worked with the Mexican soldiers. I'm getting the history all wrong. I'm sorry. Should always research this thing thoroughly before I go on live, but we'll talk about it at some other point. I don't have all the facts straight. But it's also the Spanish version of St. Patrick, so the little imp, San Patricio. But yeah, like I said, once I figured out his outfit, then more fell into place. I think he always had the gold tooth and the green eyes, and it's got the muerto sideburns and little goatee soul patch there. But there's our guy again. So anyway, that's little history of San Patricio. So before he shows up in the one of the upcoming El Muerto graphic novels, I'd always been wanting to do a mini comic with him around St. Patrick's Day. So this last convention, like I said, that was canceled because of the pandemic, was the Latinx Comic Arts Festival up in Modesto, California, at Modesto JC. And it's that show's organized by a friend of mine, Dr. Teresa Rojas. But so I had planned to have this debut there, but like I said, I had them printed, but I did not go to that show. But I do have plenty in stock, so I like to put those together with this other book and sell them. So it's just a quick short story, and the first appearance, right? That collector mentality out there. It's the first appearance of San Patricio. Get it? So there we go. We got our characters here, right? Our El Muerto pig character and our Muerto imp character. So anyway, thank you guys very much. Thanks for watching the previous episodes. This is just the beginning of it. I know it's going to be a constant campaign. You always get new viewers, new subscribers. I'm always trying to get more subscribers. So whenever you watch one of the videos or after you watch this one, just on the right hand side there's like a red subscribe button. Please, if you could, just click that, and every time I do a new episode you'll be informed. As far as the mini comic survival pack, so if you want to order it, you can do it through my web shop. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's this storenvy.com is, it's an online store that a lot of people use. So if you just enter loscomex.storenvy.com, there's one E, right? The word store and envy, they share the E, so storenvy.com. So you can go there, and then you can buy, if you'd like to, you can order the combo pack, or you can also just order the mini comic. But you can get both, and then you get the stickers as well. So I think that's it. Again, thanks for joining me for this first week of this Los Comex TV. I've been planning it for a while, but like I said, due to the current circumstances we're all in, it just kind of prompted me to, kind of dive in with my own YouTube channel. And thank you so much. So we'll see you again soon. Or you'll see me again soon, or at least my hands. Thank you. Bye-bye.